I don't know what happened there. OBS, OBS. All right, I think we're good. Yeah, it was a small power outage. I don't know why, and then it was enough, I guess, to kind of like shut things down, but quickly rebooted everything back up. I think like the generator or something kicked in, but still lost it for a little bit, causing this thing to basically crash. Let me make sure everything's good here. I think it looks fine. If you're there, if you're there, you see it, you can hear me. I think we're good. My apologies there. I did not mean to end the stream like that. That is definitely not how I would end the stream, but I gotta get all these things back. I will say though, the power is actually pretty good here. It's the first time that kind of happens, but power's pretty good. Considering, we get a lot of thunderstorms and we were in the raining season. Not once did it happen. Now it's not even raining. I don't know what happened. Maybe they're working on something. I don't know. But anyways, we're right back. And like I said, I mean, today, right now, I'm just not excited about getting long or short here. I'll be honest. If I had the cojones, you know what I mean? I would probably maybe on a combine, maybe short this 79, 80 area here. Because I'm seeing here kind of like this little trap here, right? We have a little bit of a trap there. Is it going to work? I mean, this is what I mean, that you have to kind of pick your shots, right? I'm not going to be picking this one because I'm not going to short the choo-choo train here. But that's a setup I currently see right now. A short right here. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like if you were on a combine and you're desperate for a trade, I would. No, I can't do nothing here. You know what I mean? Like I know you kind of maybe want to hear some more clear thing from me, but I can't. You know what I mean? Like we're at all-time highs. Like FOMC's at 2 o'clock. It's very likely that we chop here today at open. I wouldn't be surprised if we chop here. And right now, it's not necessarily a bad thing that I'm staying out of it because, yes, as much as we have pushed there, I mean, we're right where we opened pretty much. We opened up at 59.77. What do you guys say? We get on a combine, we short this thing to try our luck. Don't be doing this short, by the way. I'm not saying to short this thing with something. No, I don't even think it's worth it on a combine. Screw that. I'm not doing it. I'm looking for a long, but my levels are far away. Same here, man. I'm looking for a long, but I can't really justify getting long here. You know what I mean? Like, it's difficult here. Whenever you feel like you're feeling FOMO or something, always take a look at the daily chart. Look at the daily chart. We are, I don't want to say extended because no one knows to the extent that the market can rally, but is a pullback really a bad thing after we've had this kind of rally? You know what I mean? It would be okay. What do you guys think? I get on a combine, I short this thing for entertainment purposes. By the way, I would not be actually shorting that right here with a real like XFA. You know what I mean? My XFA is getting taken out right now. Those XFAs are leaving right now. I don't even want to get tempted. This thing is gonna get taken out right now. I don't want the temptation. I don't want no part of this on real XFAs. No way. I'm gonna take the short though, I think. I'm gonna try it out. I don't know. All right, let's try it. You only live once. This is a combine trade. It's only to test out this particular trap here. Okay, just to test that out. I don't do this trade, okay? I'm not. Don't copy this. I'm gonna be having my stop right above the trap there. Okay. Do not do this trade. This is and for my entertainment, basically, right now. And I am on a combine for full disclosure. I am not on XFAs. NQ is ripping. ES is holding, so and ES might be wanting to rip through here. Come on, ES. Yeah. If we get above that 80, I'll be out of this. Give me a second here. There we go. I had to get my water. Another water. Again, this is a combine trade. It was for my entertainment purposes only. I clearly said this. And there you go. Stopped on that. That's exactly why I would have not taken that trade. That's just for my entertainment. I'm like, let's just see if it works. You almost never took a short when the market was selling the last 2 weeks. Never. Never. Like I said, I was still long. I was still looking to the bullish side there. Let me see. I'm looking for a long, but you asked for opinion. I think you shouldn't. That's right. I shouldn't up there. But I mean, it's a combine trade. $125 on the combine is okay, but still the long was better. See what I'm saying? It's still a better FOMO than the short there. But please, like I said, please understand that was like for my entertainment purposes. You know what I mean? It's a combine trade. That was my my gamble for the day, okay? So please, don't be here like, judging that short. Don't fight the trend. Definitely. Buy the dip. That's it. That's right. Educational purposes. I said ahead of time. I was no way that I'm actually taking that trade very seriously. I know that this was a very bad thing to do, but hey, sometimes you gotta have a little fun. I wanted to try that little short there on the combine account. It's fine, but we're still pushing higher. I will not, like I said, trade in here. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? I can't do it. Then with you 100%. Buy the dip, sell the rip, baby. I told you. It's kind of rinse and repeat, and it's so hard to look for the pullback because it's so difficult for us to get it. You know what I mean? It's like looking for a ghost. Even there, I should have been long there instead, obviously. Even though, yes, it was just a, but I don't think a lot of people will understand that trade there was like, I don't know. Like here all day, even right now, I'm here taking mental trades, right? Like this is something actually that it's good practice to do as well. Like taking mental trades. Let's say that you had a level there or you kind of saw something there. take a mental trade, right? All right, my long is at 76, my stop is down here. Let's see what happens, right? If you get stopped out there, you know it was a bad trade. If you didn't, well, then you know it's a good trade. So there's a lot of trades that you can take mentally to kind of improve your game without necessarily risking anything while you're waiting for your your key level, right? It's very confusing, I'm telling you. It is. Why don't you try Top Step X though? I mean, so far, yeah, sometimes the fills are not the greatest, but it's pretty easy. I know it's hard to basically move brokers. I hate it. I don't like it, but I've traded on all the brokers I think you can imagine. So if you have a question, I'm almost like a customer service rep for all the brokers. I am not even kidding. I've traded on Quest Trade. I've traded interactive brokers. I've traded TD. What's it called? Easy. No, not Easy Web. Think or Swim. I've traded on Quantower. I've traded on Ninja Trader. I've traded on Top Step X now. I've traded on Trading View, integrated charts. I've traded with, I know I'm missing another one. There was another one too. I'm missing another one, but I've traded on about 8 brokers. It's true. You do. Like, it takes me time. Look, I'll be honest with you. That play trade there, I think I might have just been a little bit early. But this key level here, it might be working. I'm always early. This is why I'm so cautious with the shorts, because I know myself. I don't know why, but it's like I'm always a little bit early. We'll see. I don't know. Anyways, that was just that was don't I'm gonna just forget about that trade. I won't do that anymore because I know that people are gonna take it very seriously. That I'm actually trying to trade that thing, which I should be, but look, it was a play. Okay, I'm allowed to have some fun too, okay? Look at this right now. On the daily chart, we're pulling up to that level of resistance here on this trend line, if you will. You know, this particular trend line here, we're kind of getting stuck here right now, getting rejected maybe. I don't know yet, but it sure is acting up at some level of resistance right now. Hence why I'm kind of thinking that we could be pulling back from this particular level here. You can see that trend line there. Again, it's not a very reliable trend line. I don't like to trade trend lines, but it's the only way that I can get a little bit of knowledge in terms of what level could be the reversal level or could be some actionable type of level. That's the only thing I see here, and hence why I'm, you know, this 80 level, I'm kind of thinking we might be pulling back a little bit. And in case you don't know where I get the level from, well, I mean, you can see the trend line. It's not very reliable, but hey, it's got 2 touches on it. It looks like we are now pulling in that 3rd touch there. If we can close this, or we can start pulling back, it could be nice because it could mean that we are gonna be kind of leaving a little trap to the upside there, which could mean the reversal to the downside. But either way, it's choppy right now. Like I said, 2 o'clock is gonna be the major sort of catalyst. Boy, it is the major catalyst that will get us, you know, that volatility that I'm waiting for. I'll be honest though, I'm not feeling that bullish right now. Watch this thing just start dumping now. Getting stuck here right now. This area is acting up. There's something happening here right now. All right, so right now we could argue that we're in a very tight range. So we have resistance sitting at like 82, 84 based on what I can see here right now. And we have very clear support down here at the all-time high previously, which is that 76, 75 right there. It's a very tight range. Nada. But if you still gotta finish up setting up Top Step, you should, because you're gonna get rebuild next month. I don't know how long it's been. I think it's been already about a week, no, or 2 weeks since you got that Top Step account. Because remember, at the end of the month, you're gonna get rebuild again. So if you haven't touched it, you're still gonna be getting rebuild. Make sure you cancel that subscription if you are not gonna be trading on it, or else what's the point of paying for it, right? At that you don't get charged twice. Right now, it's kind of expected. We're chopping around. It could be like this up until 2 o'clock. I don't know, but I'm just waiting. Maybe on Friday. What I'm gonna start doing on Friday, on Power Hour, I'm thinking about coming here with obviously. Uh, it could be the wrong idea though, but I was thinking the other day. I'm like, I could come here Power Hour, maybe with a combine or something, and um, maybe put on a trade for end of day. The thing is that yes, well, I'm trying to obviously grow as a streamer, right? The thing is that people want to see trades and stuff like that. They can't really, not that they can't understand, is that my system, my way of trading requires me to be very extremely patient, right? So I don't need to be here. If I was not streaming, I would not be here. I would simply set reminders on my on my charts, and as I'm there walking and being out and about, I can simply get the notification around the house, come here, make the trade, right? I don't need to be sitting here all day long looking for a trade. But it's very difficult for newer traders to process that type of mentality. So then I have to kind of be here, explain myself, and at the same time look for something to trade, or else, I'm just gonna be chit-chatting here by myself, right? Now it's nice to see you guys all here, and you guys are showing support, which I do appreciate. Because before, when I was starting out, I was here by myself, and sometimes yes, some people and stuff like that, but nothing really consistent. So I was here talking to myself, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is boring. You know what I mean? Like, but now at least you guys are here. You guys leave comments, and now it makes it more interesting for me. So I do appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, to my final point, which was on tomorrow, I kind of want to come on Power Hour, start making it a habit to come on Power Hour, put on a trade, even on a combine, you know what I mean? And make it entertaining for end of day. And also, Fridays are my very, very strong day. They're my best days typically. So, it'd be worth it. We'll see. But it depends on the setup and stuff like that. So maybe I was thinking about making like this fun, like scalping thingy where we try different strategies, or so we try something like just for fun kind of thing. But I don't know. Maybe not. Try different theories. Not very like it'll be like a fun thing. It's not gonna be a very serious thing, or even on a practice account. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Like scalping. Buying right here, selling short here, buying here. Get that Friday fun in right before Friday begins. But no, I think it could actually introduce the wrong idea, and it'll kind of value, I think, my content too. I don't trade like that. I'll never trade like that again. When I was new, I used to make so many trades. I'm telling you, it was unbelievable. You might be able to relate to what I'm saying. You might not, but I used to trade quite some time. You know what I mean? Like all day, every day, and I used to be putting on like 10 trades an hour. It was very, very hectic. I have no idea. It's a nightmare. I feel your pain because when I was working, watching the charts on my break, I'm like, look at this. I could have bought here and then I was going to sell here. My plan from last night worked. I would have been, ready with like my week's pay, and I didn't need to come to this place. But that's how we start. You know what I mean? We must start slowly. study on your spare time, study while you're wherever you are at work. I mean, don't study at work. I mean, like while you're at work, be thinking about the markets if that's what you want, or be thinking about your purpose, your business, whatever it is that you want, your goal in general. I am a big believer that we are what we think about in general. What we think about all day long, we kind of tend to manifest that reality. And if all you're thinking is about work and how stressful you are, you're going to continue to manifest that reality for yourself. But if you're at work and you know that you have the capability to, go somewhere else, you can. It takes time, but you can. For me to be sitting here, streaming here, it's been a long ride. A long ride. Pressure. I think you're right, Rossetti. Yesterday I was thinking actually about your idea, believe it or not. I didn't make I know I said I was gonna make a video about that recap, but then I didn't. That's on purpose. I didn't do it because I'm trying to develop an idea on how to do it correctly in a way. I don't want to just, talk about the day. It could be a little bit boring. So I'm thinking maybe doing like a weekly recap or, maybe a daily recap, but it depends. I gotta find a good flow. Maybe some shorts too or something, right? But you're right, though. I don't need to be feeling pressure. And this is what's kind of the bad thing, I think, when I was starting out with the stream. I was breaking a lot of my own rules to try and put on some trades so that, obviously you can have an entertainment trade and something to talk about. Right now, we have nothing to talk about. I mean, in terms of a trade for me. But I shouldn't feel pressure. You know what I mean? Because when I feel pressure, I do worse. And again, if there's nothing that I'm seeing on the charts, well, then I don't need to do anything. We could be long, we could be short. I mean, this is not great volatility, though. I'm going to just wait. Maybe even a short every day of the trade I do, like in a recap section or something, like a nice, like entertaining short on that setup. That could work too, like that. I don't need to be making 5-minute videos on every day of the recap, I think. But might catch a good short out of 656,000. 6,000. I mean, it could work. It's a nice round number, right? That psychological number is always going to come into play. Looking back at this chart, though, what I will say that, maybe I might have missed out here, or I wasn't. It's not that I missed it. It's that I don't think I wanted to do it. I didn't want to do this on my XFAs, but you can see how this was the all-time high, right? That's exactly where we got denied at, right there, 77. We kind of get rejected a couple more times, and then we kind of squeeze through that level. And then I'm not expecting for this to hold, but it did hold, it looks like. You can see how we backtest the previous level of resistance. So we're basically doing the same thing, rinse and repeat. But the problem is, after this kind of rally, I'm kind of skeptical that this level was going to actually hold like this. But so far from that 77, 87, 10 points, I mean, it's the best trade so far, right? We have resistance, we have the squeeze, and then we have the backtest of the previous all-time high. So you can see even right now, the rules of the game are still being respected. You have a level of resistance, we squeeze through it, we backtest, cementing it as floor, and then we continue higher. The problem is that we're so ducking high that my emotions are like, we might get that pullback at any moment. Now, practice is the name of the game. 100%. Practice makes improvements. All right, I see this nice kind of wedge or something we're building here. I'm not a pattern trader, but everybody's going to have this line drawn up. They're just dying for this thing to break so they can short. And the market just keeps on going higher and higher. I don't know. I'm still, I'm cautious because I know how this ends now. This massive push ends with a nice rug pull. And then the rug pull comes in, and then everybody on Twitter goes in, look at this, now we found the top. And then again, the inevitable. We go test support. We turn that level of support into clear support. We usually trap, and then we head back up to all-time highs. To Antonio's point, the last 2 weeks, I want to show you this. This is the last 2 weeks of action, right? Obviously, we got that nice dump there, and this week over here, this was the week. I was looking for the buys here. Not once was I thinking shorting around this level. I didn't even short once last week and the week before that. Even this move, I was trying to be a buyer where I got caught. I had that red day on that day. But like looking at it from my perspective is this. You can see here how we have traps. We have pushes, right? We have traps. We have pushes, okay? And then in the end, this could have been the run-up that we're seeing right now, but it wasn't, so we broke down, which was a very kind of different scenario. But nonetheless, when we broke down, I was a buyer at all these levels. Every single one of these levels, I was a buyer. And obviously now it's so easy to be like, I told you so, but at the end of the day, it's not that easy because I could have never anticipated this run up in 2 days, right? But the idea is simple. We stay with the trend so that this move is, so we're riding this move, you know what I mean? We want to get in with the wave. We want to go with the flow of things. And obviously when this is pulling back, you might think that the flow now has changed. But in reality, if you will simply do this, you really need to do this. You need to go back. You know what I mean? Look. This is the daily chart I got pulled up for you. In reality, we are just gliding higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. So let's go with the trend. Majority of my trades, 99% of my trades are long, as they have been always, and that's exactly why, because the trend is my best friend. You know what I mean? I don't want to be against the trend. And secondly, you see this guy here? This guy don't like it when I short. He gives me the horns. He's looking dead at me in the face. I have him right here. He reminds me every time I'm thinking about shorting. He reminds me, like, get ready to be a loser. I was quiet again. We fight the trend almost all the time. Go back. That's right. This is another good point that I think Antonio is also making. So we do obviously want to follow the trend, which is to the long side. That does not mean we're going to be getting long at every single candle, right? What I'm rather saying is at big key levels, we're going to expect for them to hold. At resistances, we're going to expect for them to break. And while the market is accumulating inside these ranges, we must pick whether to short the resistances or we must pick to buy levels of support. In my opinion, I like to buy the levels of support. Why? Because it's easier for me to understand that the support hold and resistances break, rather than expecting for resistance to hold and supports to break. Does that make sense? So meaning, if I have resistance at a 20 and support at 10, I rather skip on the 20 short and let it play out to the 10. And then at 10, I want to be a buyer because the probability of 20 breaking and going through the 20s towards the 30 is higher, giving me a higher potential win rate. if that makes sense. I know it's follow the volume, we have bigger chances. Future video pros and cons of prop firms, Top Step or Apex or my funded futures. I'll be honest, Rossetti, I am obviously an unbiased opinion. I don't have any personal links to sell you anything from. I don't make any money from any of those companies you just said. However, my unbiased opinion is that I would stick with Top Step for one reason, only one reason. And again, I don't make anything from it. They're not paying me anything to say this. In fact, I should be later on, asking them for something because I give them a lot of publicity because they're a big title on your videos and they can get you views, right? But at the end of the day, I like, how do I say this? I like good trading habits. I preach for that. You know what I mean? I don't want others to do bad or develop bad habits. In Apex, they might cause you to develop a bad habit because, as far as I understand, they have what's called the drawdown rule, which every company kind of does, in the sense of, we have in Top Step, you really have only one rule, the max loss, right? Which is you have max loss of 2,000 or whatever the account size is that you're buying. But in general, it's 2,000, right? You lose 2,000, you're out of the game. If you make 3,000, you pass the combine, you're done. But Apex is obviously the same idea. However, let's say that we were long from the 77, right? And we didn't take profit at 87. Right now, from my understanding, is that if we were to basically break even on this trade, we are now lost $500. Why? Because your account balance goes up with your profits. So if we were up 500 there, now we have $500 in the green. And if we don't lock it in and we give back those $500 of profit, we now have a $500 loss on the day. Does that make sense? Whereas Top Step is very different. Top Step, if I'm here long with a runner, I can let that runner exercise and let it go. And if it breaks me even, I don't lose anything. I only lose the profits that particular runner has. That does not cause me to be down on my challenge $500, if that makes sense. So basically, Apex makes you lock in profit. And I don't really like that, because you're going to be always thinking scalping. Like, I must lock in profit here or else. Whereas a lot of my trades, sometimes they're like 2 hours, 1 hour, 45 minutes. Yes, a lot of them are pretty short, but I just don't like the idea that I need to feel pressure with a runner to be locking in profit at the best peak, because I'll never know where that peak is, right? Whereas Top Step, also another thing worth noting with Top Step, again, this is a very bad thing, but I did do this, so I'm speaking from experience. Let's say that today was Friday or whatever day, and I make $2,000, right? That is my money on the combine, or whatever the situation is, right? On the combine. Picture it, it's $2,000 worth of game, or let's not say 2,000 combine. Let's say $1,000, right? Let's say you made $1,000 on the combine, and then you come back in the afternoon because you're excited, right? Whatever the case is, you come back and you lose the $1,000. Now, did you lose $1,000 from Top Step's money, or did you lose your own money, your profits on the day? You lost your profits on the day, right? Because Top Step didn't really give you anything. So you are now at zero on the day, meaning that you had a flat day. So when Friday sessions close, you now are flat on the day. No problem, right? Apex, you make $1,000, you come back and you lose it for whatever reason. You now lost $1,000 on the day. So your challenge is actually $1,000 in the red now. Make sense? On the same daily profits. So I don't really like that. That's my unbiased opinion. You take it with a grain of salt. But for me, I like just, building good habits. And I don't think that will necessarily build a good habit. Also, another thing I do notice on Apex, they do kind of let you go in heavier with more contracts, and I don't like that as well because I'm here stuck at like 2 contracts. You know what I mean? Like it's good enough risk for me right now where I'm currently at on my trading journey, right? But I find that it could trigger a lot of newer traders to go in heavier so that they can make more profits quicker, lock in profits quicker. And they do have challenges where, if I'm not wrong, they're cheaper. So, well, cheaper, but more expensive because you're going to probably blow them up quicker. And then, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to cause you to get more challenges, blow up more. And I don't know. You have to be a particular trader for those, I think. Now, my funded trader futures, or was it? My funded futures, I've never traded with them. And that was my unbiased opinion. I like Topstep. And also the payouts are very fast. They are integrated very easily with Wise for exchanging the currencies, which is amazing for me. And I just like it. I have no complaints up until right now. Their customer service is has had some issues in the past, but they're getting pretty good now. My only issue is one time I was I think I was short like $2 from passing the combine, and they told me I still had to make the $2. Whereas a few months ago, when the same scenario happened, they were like, "Yeah, it's $2. Don't worry, you passed it, right?" So I had to trade for $2. That kind of bummed me out. I'm like, "Are you guys serious?" Like, it was your pill anyways. That was garbage. I passed already so many of them, and you're gonna be here dinging me around about $2 on a combine? Like, come on. But anyways, you're right. The guy was scalping on NQ, and he was talking about the price. Yeah, with Apex, you gotta be in and out, or like not in and out, but you gotta basically be in and out because remember, if you're long from here and this thing pulls back, you now lost that profit. So meaning you are in the red on their challenge now. Whereas, let's say I got long here. If I got long here, I would put my stop at break even and I would let it go right. I would let it go. I would have no problem with letting that go. But Apex is saying, if I don't lock in profit here and we pull back here, you lost these gains. So I'm red on the combine now. I don't like that. I don't think that's a good habit for traders to always be mentally thinking, shit, I gotta take profit. You know, I gotta take profit. No. You can see it on my channel. I like to take my trades on my key levels, and then I like to take profit at level, and I commit to it. I commit to my stop. I commit to my target. I am committed to my trade. I don't really, you know, that's what I mean. Anyways, enough talking about them. They're not paying me. When they start paying me, then I'll talk about them more. I thought we were gonna get some type of pullback, but nothing. I don't see a setup unless you're like trading maybe trend line breaks or something like that. Then maybe yes, like maybe something like not even. Look, don't feel FOMO. You know what I mean? These candles are gonna print longer than you're gonna live. It's more likely that you and I are going to die, and these things are gonna still print. So what's the rush? You know what I mean? 2 o'clock is later on today. Big data news. Well, of course, interest rate decision is gonna be at 2 o'clock today. We're gonna have Daddy Powell, Jerome Powell, speaking at I think it's 2:30. He always does it like half an hour later. And then probably the real move at around 3 o'clock. But I'm going to be definitely trading that 2 o'clock. So right now, I'm just taking it easy. Because we didn't go down to my levels. It's not because it's the 2 o'clock that I'm waiting for. I would actually rather trade now than 2 o'clock. But price did not go down to my level. If we had trended lower, yes, I would have bought down here. But that didn't happen. We're just pushing higher and higher. I'm not going to short there. And if you're going to short there, I might as well send you my Wise account. Send me the money instead. We're coming close to that 6,000 level Antonio was talking about. Let's see if that potential short is going to play out for him there. Or if I don't know if he's gonna take it or not, but it does look like we're hunting that round psychological number. I see your point about Apex. That's right. So I mean, but every trader is different. You know, you might be that type of scalper where or that type of person that can lock in profit quickly. But yeah, for a good cause. For a good send me your plata, okay, for a good cause. Don't short the choo-choo train, okay? Don't. And here we are again at all-time highs. Who would have figured? Who would have figured? I wonder. And then again, it's gonna happen again. We're gonna get the dump, the rug pull, and then the world's almost gonna be ending on Twitter. How now they found the top. September was supposed to be a very bearish month because based on history, it's a bearish month. I watched some videos of guys even going as deep as saying because the interest rates are going lower now, the this is what happened back in 2008 with the stock market crash when the Fed started basically to lower the rates. That's when the dump came in. So this is what's gonna happen this time around. I've seen some guys on Twitter talking about how they're short and they have like 100-point stop because, or I don't know, like why? You gotta ride the bull, baby. Look at this. You see those guys there? The bull's very he's there, right there. And the teddy bear is the bears. They're eating their cherries. I don't know what they're doing, but they're definitely not here. They're not here. This is why I'm always giving them like what's it called? A little funny picture on my thumbnails and everything. I have fun with it. Look at them eating the cherries. It's true though. Come on, like every single dip gets bought up. The dip gets bought up. We get the dip, we get a rip. It's like, what can I say? Even here, even on a small time frame, it's working perfectly. The dip, the rip, the dip, the rip, the dip, the rip, the dip, the rip. It's rinse and repeat. Even on a small time frame, it makes me laugh because, like, see, look, now the dip. Now people are getting excited, right? Now we found the top. Now we found it, and then the rip probably will come in. Oh my gosh. All right, so we got this wedge thingy majiggy here. Well, let's see if it's actually gonna play out. But this is, looking a little bit extended. It's been looking extended. By the way, I do appreciate all of you guys over here with your comments. It makes it more entertaining for me. This is your infomercial of the day, though. If you're not signed up, you can join. It is entirely free community. There are no in-app purchases. Like I always keep on telling this story because it kind of got to my soul. This game I downloaded. I don't play games. I don't have no consoles. I don't have time to be playing games, but it was a Sunday. I got this game it was a commercial, and then it said if I wanted to continue playing with some perks that I wanted, I had to pay. I'm like, are you serious, man? Are you serious? I knew it. I got caught. Well, this is not the case with the Discord. It's entirely free. There are no in-app purchases, and you will get access to pretty much everything and everybody's ideas there as well. So if you're interested and you want to bring your take, it's not my take that is here. It's everybody's take on trading and levels that goes on here. If you want to share it, of course, right? You can come and share your thoughts there. That's your infomercial for the day. And lastly, if you want to see the stream grow, I mean, hit that like button. It's good. It gives you good luck too. I'm going to make sure that I send you some positive vibrations through here that you're going to get some good luck. And there we go. We got the dip and then the inevitable rip. Can they break through that high right now? This is not gonna really end well though. I kind of gotta say this. Whenever we grind up slowly like this, that rug pull is coming probably. We'll see. I don't know. Like I said, 2 o'clock is the big event. What you do need to understand is that this is not coincidence. Okay, this is not at all coincidence. I want to show you this. You see this on the daily chart? This is that video I made about talking about this particular level, how if we held that level, we were going to be pushing to the highs and through the highs. And of course that happened. But nonetheless, the reason why I was feeling bullish about it is because after you have a big level like this that touches 21 days on a daily chart, you're almost guaranteed to get some type of action, right? So if we had broken down, I said we were likely going to be getting a big move to the downside. That didn't happen. So then I'm obviously thinking bullish. How can I prove it was 21 days? Well, you can just come here, take your daily chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Right over there. Even more. But the idea is simple. When you have a big level that was clear resistance, that turns into clear support, touches 21 times on the chart, on the daily chart, something is going to happen. And that something has happened, which is right there. Right there. And if you ask me, like I said already, before the elections happen, it does not matter who wins, Kamala or Trump. It's irrelevant because the buyer who was sitting here, the buyer who was absorbing all this here for 21 or whatever they were doing here for all these days here, okay, they were accumulating down there. Remember that example I tell you about potatoes? If this buyer started buying here when we broke, right? Smart money was buying here, okay? He was buying the sack of potatoes at $10. Every single time price came back down here and he saw it for the same price he bought it at, what do you think he was doing? He was holding and supporting his own price, dumping even more money in, more money in, more money in, more money in, buying more, buying more, buying more. And then when the move happens, guess what he's going to be doing later on? He's going to have to take profit, right? So when he takes profit, we will be getting the pullback. But that doesn't mean the trend has changed. That just means he's taking profit. Bulls need to take profit too, or else it does not make any sense, does it? Buyers need to sell. You can never just buy and buy and buy. And that's what I believe has been happening for the past year and a half, where we have extremely aggressive buyers. We push higher. They start taking profit, whatever, some shorts and whatever. We pull back. But again, we're stepping up higher. We are going higher and higher. Hence why we keep making all-time highs. And again, rinse and repeat. Let's follow the clues. Let's go with the trend. And I know I talk a lot about big time frames here on this channel, which is something I'm actually pretty proud of as well, because I know that a lot of different channels, I obviously tune in and I'll watch 2 minutes just to kind of see what they're up to and stuff. There's not a whole lot of people that do talk about time frames that are gigantic and getting levels from there. The only one channel I do know that's similar, I mean, very different, but similar. I don't really, it's from a female big influencer. She trades trend lines. I think you guys all know her. I don't need to say her name, but she does talk a lot about big time frames. I don't like the idea of just trading because trend lines break and stuff like that, but I do like the fact that she looks at big time frames. So I do like the advocacy for looking at bigger time frames and not looking at levels from a 2-minute perspective or a 1-minute perspective. So when you trade on a bigger time frame, you do gotta acknowledge and realize that you are going to trade less, because the bigger the time frame, the less likely your level is going to come into play every single day at every single given moment, right? But if we're trading on a scalping scenario, like some other channels where, we're looking for a one-to-one, or we are basically trading these wicks down here, these wick tests or anything like that, it can be very, very different trading. So understand the style of trading that I'm kind of, pushing towards and that I do. So like that, you don't get the wrong expectations from the channel in general. Corey trades, I like her. You said it, I didn't. I don't want no beef. I gotta level up. I'm trying to get to that too, contract trading. And the reason why, actually, I kind of want to mention it to you guys. The reason why I was only trading one contract this week and last week, and I think for the past like 2 weeks and a half, was because I'll say it here, all my streams stay on. I was like on like a losing streak a little bit. So I was down for, I think it was like 7 days in a row or 8 days in a row, like a month ago. So when I noticed that that happened, obviously, it doesn't matter how much I lost. Like I could have been down 200 some days, some other days 150, some days maybe 400, but losing 8 days in a row is very unacceptable after coming from a very long winning streak. So I cut down on two contracts and I started to trade one contract just to basically at the same time build back up and build my confidence again, which in the past 3 weeks I've always obviously done that. And this is something worth noting here on the stream, that it's okay to be, on a little bit of a losing streak, but what is not okay is to get in heavier to make back profits. That is very wrong mentality. What you should be doing is downsizing instead of upsizing to make it back. You will inevitably make that money back if your system is good. So you need to take a step back, size down, and trade what you know. And then you will build that account back up, which is what I've been doing, what I've done the past 3 weeks now. So we're back to, winning streaks and whatnot. But now I can feel confident again to going back towards my two contract normal standard size. But now I'm thinking I don't want to go to two. I want to go to maybe five, right? 2 to 5. I want to start obviously leveling up. You know what I mean? Takes time. But what we're here for, what we should be focused on is the strategy, the traps, the backtests, the breakdowns. 5 to 1, baby. 15, 20 points plus. Risking 3 points. That's what excites me about this system. Not, 1 to 1. Like, I mean, what is this? It's 10:27. I have not made a trade. I'm thinking about streaming at 2 o'clock. I don't know yet. Just keeps on going higher and higher. Can't do nothing here. I'm gonna sit tight and wait for the inevitable pullback. I'm not gonna try to predict when it's coming. I'm just gonna sit and wait. Trying to guess where it's gonna be. It's like chasing butterflies. I built my nest for those butterflies. When they come down, when price comes down, I know where to go buy. I know where to grab them at my nest. But right now, I feel like just chasing butterflies, so it's not good. What about you guys? You guys want to share something with anything or the levels in general? Do you think I'm wrong about just waiting on this pullback? I don't want to guess when it's coming, but I want to wait for it. Or do you think we're just gonna go straight up? Could be interesting. This would make one of the biggest pushes without any pullback if we just continue grinding higher. Like, I'm not even asking for a major pullback, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that when we got the opening price here, we didn't go nowhere. We just turned that previous all-time high into support. It's very difficult for me to get in there. Very aggressive, you know what I mean? Obviously, it was the right trade to be on the long side there, but not really in love with how we're moving either. Like, yes, of course, we're pushing higher, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean? This is not. We're not gonna get a V here. We're not gonna see. You know, in order to get a V in the victory lap, we need a trap. This would not be a trap. You know what I mean? We need to see a cluster of lows, ideally a couple of hours. Something that held for a couple of hours or something that held significantly much more than 2 minutes. And that's why I like this particular level here. You can see here that this is something that, you know, we had some type of action there. You can see there, it was clear resistance, clear support. There's going to be a lot of stops sitting kind of there. So we can kind of hunt these guys down, do a little trap here. That is what's going to create that fuel there. But we also need the third magical thing, which is the stops on the upside, right? And right now, there's no stops on the upside. If you look at this right now for what it is, where are all the stops going to be? They're going to be to the downside. Look at this. The more higher it goes, you know more stops are getting left here, 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 right? So if anything, it's opening up the possibilities for a nice rug pull because they know that all these stops are just sitting here. They know. Come on. Let's make it happen. I'm here waiting. Let's get the dip so that we can get the proper rip. By the way, if you're a Barca fan, I like you. If you're a Madrid fan, I still like you, but still not as much because Madrid's not doing too well right now. So that's good news for me. My team Barca yesterday, 5-1. I mean 5-2. 5-2, man. They're back to their prime. I'm thinking maybe another 5 minutes of the stream and then I'm gonna be ending it because I'm here kind of waiting for the ghost to appear, right? So if you have any closing thoughts or any questions, I think probably now is the right time to want to say anything, but maybe another 5 minutes. Right now, NQ is kind of flagging on NQ. Why is it not working? Great stream as always. Thank you. Next stream, talk about your journey. My journey. I mean, everyone's journey is unique, right? I was gonna say it's a little bit unique, but kind of maybe is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I just think maybe it's a little bit unique for the sense of I know, of course, a lot of big influencers, and they kind of seem to be single, right? From what I can tell. Uh, I don't know if they have families. I mean, I don't know, but whereas me, no, I'm loaded up. I got 3 kids. They're all very young. Started my life early, I would say. I've always been working, working. Actually, I'm gonna try to look for it because I do have. I think some people think I'm lying. At 14, I was already with like maybe 15 books that I had read that were really, really good for like personal development, like Think and Grow Rich. Um, what's another one? Think and Grow Rich was a big one for me, right? That's the one I kind of remember a lot, and of course, I remember the Compound Effect. Um, Too Big to Fail. I read my first book was actually with Trump and Robert Kiyosaki, Why We Want You to Be Rich, and I have a picture there with a lot of my books. So at the age of like 14, so I was always pretty much into like personal growth and personal development. And then a bunch of other things happened, but I've always kind of been looking at trading as an alleyway that I was always interested in since the age of about 14, but never really did I, have that chance to obviously trade. And that's why where that story of Bitcoin comes in, where my friend and I, we were amongst the pioneers of getting Bitcoins for free. And then we used to sell the Bitcoins for cash. All we had to do was play this stupid game. We played this game of Wheel. I'm telling you, like, I don't know where to find that game, but it used to be a game. You used to play it and you used to win Bitcoins. And then these Bitcoins could later be sold for cash. Not for very much, right? So you had to keep playing. And this is the ducking thing. Because they weren't worth very much, we had to we had to play for a while, right? And you were limited to a certain amount that you could win per day. So obviously we used to try to maximize our daily gains so that by the end of the week we could have $5 from, let's say, whatever, 100 Bitcoins. Even 1 week's worth of those profits that we were selling for like $10, just fucking 50. If I still had them, it makes me so sad. That is definitely gonna be one of my biggest not regrets. I don't regret nothing in my life, but one of the biggest fumble, like dropping the ball so hard and not seeing the future. You know what I mean? That's why from that moment on, and now I'm like, if anybody comes up to me with an idea about making money, I am all ears and I am basically on guard, like with skepticism. I'm not a very skeptical person. I want to look at every possibility before I say no towards anything, right? Because that has taught me to be open-minded, and I've had, like many other things, but like wow, I'm like, shit, man, you really ducked that one up there. Tried of scalping, would like to learn your style of longer trades. Joined your Discord. Amazing. Thank you. And yes, we do. I do not like scalping because again, I don't know what type of person, what type of trader you are, but you should not feel like you're in a race car driver's seat. You know what I mean? Trading is supposed to be a really kind of boring job if you think about it. Like right now, if I wasn't on the stream, I would be pretty bored. I would be around the house. You know what I mean? Um, you need to have levels already set in place. You need to know where you want to be buying and why you want to be buying at those levels, and then waiting for them for price to come to you. And then majority of the time, you go back on my streams, right? Everything's being recorded, everything stays there. When you, I'm not telling you to go there just to kind of, you know, look and see what happens, like how much money can be made or anything. Like, no, go there and see if what I'm telling you could align with your current values, or even some of my videos, right? But not for the views. It doesn't, like, okay, of course I do want to grow as a streamer, I want to get more views. I would be a hypocrite to say I don't. But at the same time, it's like I believe that my message has some value towards some people, and like waiting for little traps, right? They can be the beginning of a lot of these moves, right? They are the beginning of these moves. So if I believe that my core message is basically being able to spot these little traps here and being at the beginning and forefront of these moves, why would I not want to share that message? Like, all this here is one giant leg. Anybody trading inside here is still chasing the beginning of the move, which is at the bottom. And so my job is to get in at the bottom before the party gets kind of overheated. We want to be in at the party at the right time. We don't want to be in at the party at the wrong time here. And yes, that requires more patience because you will not be a scalper. You're going to be taking 1 to 2 trades per day. And that's currently where I'm sitting at, typically about 1 to 2. Sometimes I'll do it over, maybe like 3, 4, very top. But I do like only trading that amount per day. Like, I can actually go back and review my trades, right? Whereas if you're trading 10 times, by the time the 9th comes in, I think you don't even know why you're making it at that point. And then worse, if you're trying to go back and review why you did that trade, you might not have very good notes for yourself. And worse, you're never really going to know where trend is headed. Like right now, yes, trend is headed up, we're going up, but the higher we go, the more risk it is, you know, that we are going to be pulling back. But at the same time, it's like everybody wants to try to pick that top and they want to wait for that wedge to break and short there. But the market's not as simple as that. Sometimes, yes, it can work, but not always that simple. I find support and resistance just works the best. I have videos there where I show you my chart, how my charts used to look. I had trend lines everywhere, a bunch of indicators everywhere. I don't use none of that stuff anymore because price is king. It's like I give you that example of the potato sack over and over because it just aligns with so much of what I believe. There are buyers and sellers in the market. You believe that. You know that. That's why we are printing this 59.90 right now. Someone is buying and selling there. And at the end of the day, on a bigger perspective, the buyer that's buying ES at $10, just to make this example easy, when we get to 15, they're going to push it back down to 12. They're going to be buying at 12. We go 18. And then they're going to probably be taking some profit at 18, then buying back down at the 15. If we get down to the 10, they're going to be a very big buyer, aggressive buyer, and then they're going to be accumulating even more, because you need to understand that these buyers and sellers and algorithms that are doing this buying, they cannot fill gigantic orders or someone, aka smart money, all one time. They cannot market in like how you and I can. They need to accumulate inside of ranges. And once the accumulation is done, then the distribution comes in. But that is a very different scope of of this video right now. But the idea is simple. We have distribution, we have accumulation. We have support, we have resistance. So no trades for me. I think I'm gonna be waiting for 2 o'clock. I'll see if I'll stream. My XFA is looking sad today. They didn't grow today, but that's okay. At the end of the day is not done, and I do understand that 2 o'clock is gonna be a very, very volatile time. And that's the good thing about it. That when we have volatility, we can trap to the downside quicker than we can when there's no volatility. Like right now, there's no trap. I tell you on my videos, if you cannot answer who just got trapped, it's likely gonna be you. If I get long right now, I don't know who got trapped. You know, there's nothing here, but it's likely gonna be me because when this pullback comes in, they're gonna grab my stop, and I'm gonna be fuel for their liquidity. Right now, it's a good time to go. Basically, you know, hang out until 2 o'clock and kind of come back, wait. If, of course, you're comfortable trading at 2 o'clock. If you're not, then don't do it. Today, like I mentioned, as soon as I opened the stream, if there's one day to take off, it's today. Today is likely the biggest day where retail loses the most amount of money. We can lose more money today than you can in any other day. FOMC days. So if you don't want that extra volatility, you're not comfortable with trading with the extra volatility, simply don't trade. Today is working, you know, like a charm, just going up, 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 up. But there are other days where we will chop very extensively, and the volume is going to get even more choppy as we head into 2 o'clock today. So I'll see. Maybe I'll stream later on. Right now, I'm going to go get a haircut. I got to feel fresh. Right now, this hair is already bothering me. So I do want to thank you all for tuning in today. And of course, if you want to see the stream grow, give it a like. It'll the algorithms, they're watching. They will push it. And of course, if you have not joined and you do want to join, no in-app purchases in an entirely free community where we can all bring our, you know, perspective on trading and on ES. If you don't trade ES, it's okay. You can, you know, trade whatever you trade, but nonetheless, we're here trying to grow as traders. So it is a free community. And yeah, the link is on the chat. Great live. Thank you. I appreciate it, Antonio. I'm going to walk away till 2 o'clock because right now there's really nothing for me to be doing here. I'm not going to chase price here. So I'm going to wait until 2 o'clock. Thank you all.